Hey guys, and welcome to my continuing coverage of Star Citizen, the big sandbox space simulation game that I'm so excited for. I'm so happy that the space sims are coming back. X Rebirth, Elite, Star Citizen, there's a couple more coming out, but that's awesome. It's been so long since we've had really good ones. It's been like 7 or so years since we've had a release. So, the big news for this video is the $19 million stretch goal has been reached, and I want to talk a little bit about Star Citizen's development process and why it's special and perfect for the space sim genre. So the big news, $19 million was reached in the fundraising. That means new stretch goals and new features for the game for its development. So at $19 million, they unlocked this Jane's, if you've ever played the old the Jane's sim games, the flight simulator games. There was like an F-16 one, the Apache one, way back. I want to say like mid to late 90s. These games were big. I loved them. I thought they were fantastic. Well, anyways, they had these big manuals that explained all the ships and a lot of the, all the functionality for the game that you're going to play. Well, anybody who has pledged money is going to get a copy of a manual for Star Citizen in that kind of style. So that's kind of cool. Not a real big feature for the game or anything. The big feature is managing space stations. Players are going to be able to compete to own and operate a limited number of space stations in the galaxy. So I figure you'll be competing either monetarily, maybe even military, using your military, using your force to take these stations. You'll probably be able to tax people for using the features of the space station, be it maybe the space station makes some type of resource like missiles or weapons of some kind. Maybe you'll be taxing them on repairs, whatever. I'm sure there'll be some awesome bonus. Which is interesting because there's already a game out that has this functionality. It's X Rebirth. The X series has had space stations and building space stations for quite a while. You won't be able to build them in Star Citizen, but at least you'll be able to own them. And if you can't build them, then they'll be much more important than, say, if you could just build them everywhere. And then there's going to be some new museum video series that'll be airing monthly. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's just been mentioned in the blog recently. So at 19 million, they expected that to take months to reach, and they did it in a couple of weeks, and that's something they should probably get used to. People are so excited for this game. I'm excited for this game that they're just throwing money at the development of it. The new mechanic that they want to add in the next stretch goal will be $21 million. If they hit that, they'll be adding this mechanic, the salvage mechanic. It's a whole new way to play the game. It's its own way of making money. It's going to have storyline-driven elements to it, so you can salvage valuable material or interesting secrets that I assume will build into maybe, politics, or discovering an ancient race is one of the things that they've mentioned in the blog. You'll be able to do salvage either in first person, actually walking around, maybe landing on asteroids or on, desolate planets out on the rim and finding crashed alien spaceship, or you can do it in flight in your ship itself. That's what they're planning so far. Not a lot of detail on exactly how all this is going to work out, but that's one of the features they want to add if they hit $21 million. So they have also released some concept art for the first female exploration character, which actually looks pretty cool. Kind of a badass, not your average pinup. I'll throw him up there on the video. Chris Roberts has got to be happy hitting $19 million. And getting into the development side, their actual development plan, if you've watched any of my videos, you've already seen they've released a hangar module for the game. It lets you walk around, see the ship that you've unlocked by pledging money, and push buttons, more or less. There's not a whole lot, it's not a game, it's not a whole lot of functionality with it, but they're going to be releasing more modules. And the second module is going to be a fight sim module, pretty much a dogfighting module is what they're calling it. And you're going to probably be dropped in, you fight a couple of pirates, you get a feel for the combat, how they're going to be simulating, thrusters, each individual thruster and the individual parts on the ship, how damage is going to work. The next module after that is going to be walking around on planets, landing on planets. And there's quite a few people that have the wrong idea on how they're going to be implementing landing on planets. You will not be literally flying down into the atmosphere, full control, and then it shows the world underneath you. and then you land. It's not going to be that seamless transition from space to ground. What it is going to be is you're going to get into orbit of a planet. You're going to request, can I land on the planet? And once they say okay, autopilot kicks in, and you still see it from the cockpit perspective. There's not going to be a load screen, and then you'll go through the atmosphere and you'll land at one of maybe 2 or 3 landing sites on a planet, much like free space or freelancer. Excuse me. So it's not that open world. I get why he's doing it too, because that's going to be a content problem. If you try to populate every planet with interesting things, more than just say 3 places to land, and they've already said there's going to be 130 something planets so far on their map, you're going to have content creation issues. So that's how planetary landing is going to go. The development process is actually really neat. They're releasing these demos to the hands of the players. You're not getting demos like the traditional AAA game, where you go into something like Gamescom or E3, you sit down and you play. And you play for 15 minutes with the lights flashing, music playing, booth babes jumping around, and you're distracted. You play a very scripted, it's very easy for developers to kind of cheat on the back end of these demos and say, yeah, this is how the game is. No, it's really not. You don't actually have all these features implemented. You cheated. And then you get the full-on product in your hands when it comes out, and they didn't finish all those features. It doesn't quite live up to what you expected. With this, they're releasing these into the hands of the players. So they're going to be able to tear it apart. They're going to be able to say, hey, this, combat's not tight. Controls aren't fluid like they should be. The simulation idea, or simulating each piece of the ship and how damage is implemented onto the ship, didn't work out the way it was supposed to. You guys need to go in and you need to fix this. It keeps them honest, is really what it does. And I'm really excited for that. That's awesome. That's a great way of keeping your player base wrapped up in it. Alright guys, well that's the big news for Star Citizen. I could go on all day about this game. I love Space Sims, and I'm so happy they're coming back. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe here on TGN for more gaming goodness. Come on over to my channel, the XP Gamers. I cover a lot of space games, the real-time strategy ones, the space sim games, and mostly mods. I mean, my channel is all about supporting the modding community. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.